Okay.
Don't know.
I'll go through my emails again while we're talking.
Okay. Well, it might have been a text. So, there's too many portals for communicating with people, but
There is a lot. Yes, indeed.
there are indeed a lot. So we're going to be getting right into this in just a couple minutes. A couple things. We've got another repeat of this meeting on Friday. So for those of you who, there's a lot of material to cover here. And for those of you who want to come back, it's always a little bit different every meeting that I have. Today we're talking about the conversion or the combination of Perplexity and Claude in your business. And if you don't know what either of those things are, this is the perfect place for you. We are talking about intermixing various AIs in order to get a much different, much better outcome. And just to show you some of the things that we're able to do with it, um, let me get right into it. But before that, do you guys, um, everyone received the information, the workbook? Sorry, I'm not thinking very well this morning. Did anyone not get the workbook? Does anyone speak English? Andy
Got
didn't
it.
get the workbook. Andy's
Got it.
brave. She didn't get the workbook. Daniel? Daniel's
I do
on it.
not have the workbook.
Heather said no. A few of you said no. So it's a workbook. I'm going to share it with you now where you could actually take a look at it. I know I pushed the workbook quite a bit, but this one today is really, really important just because it is giving us actual instruction. It always gives instruction, but I think even more so now that I think all of you could really appreciate. It's about 20 pages chock full of what to do and real step-by-step instructions. So this is what it looks like. Daniel's going to put the link in here a couple of times for you to see. And just to show you as an example, Terry, are you still with me? Terry Robinson?
Yes, I am.
So one of the things that I made, just as an example of the stuff that we're doing, I want to give everyone just an outlook. I said, okay, what are the best restaurants in, well, let's do it right here. I'll show you right now. Uh, what are some of the best restaurants in Brooklyn, New York? Um, please list top five based on uh, fun, atmosphere, and price. Now, Perplexity, again, I don't want to put the cart before the horse, but I know that all of you liked me to get right on to it. Perplexity is perplexity.ai. This is combining multiple AIs in its search, and you're actually seeing it here. It's searching TripAdvisor, it's searching OpenTable, it's searching Reddit, and it's getting a variety of information that it's picking all the stuff, why it stands out, what's great about it, what's going on in Williamsburg and um, the different stuff that's actually going on there. What I would do from here, if you liked it, is I would take it a step further and copy this. Again, I just want to get right to the outcome here. And then I would put it in here with this little uh, prompt. Where's my prompt? There we go. With a little prompt here. And the prompt says it right in your workbook. Um, okay. Okay. Well, I know what I'm going to put. I will look that up in a minute because it's just much longer than I thought it would be. I would say, please make an interactive map, an interactive chart of this information. Allow users to make reservations and go to each of
Edmund,
these
Edmund,
what?
are you typing that in it just goes right at the top there, like above where the information was already?
I'm typing right in the top deliberately right now.
Okay.
Okay,
Sorry.
thanks.
Thank
No
you.
worries. Okay, so I probably should have put it in beforehand, but I thought I could have cut and pasted, so I'm improvising here. Okay, so please make an interactive chart of this information. Allow users to make reservations and go to each, I should say restaurants website. Brand this as Terry Robison's uh, best bets in Brooklyn for this week, for June. We'll just say for June.
That's good. Yeah.
Okay, something along those lines. Now, where the data came from, and I'll look at all of you for a second here, where the data came from Perplexity, the actual research, and Claude could do the research as well. I'm going to go into why I'm having Perplexity do it in a minute. Where the actual data came from Perplexity, Claude is now great at coding out some information here. Okay, it does take a couple minutes for it to go through that. So let me just show you the output of what I did earlier, and we'll see the difference between the two. Here, I made this for you, Terry, and I sent this to you already.
Well, thank you.
And Terry's best bets, top Brooklyn restaurants for business meetings. So I changed the thing a little bit, but you could have these different. I don't know if you know any of these places.
Hold on.
Well, you know the River Cafe, because everybody knows the River Cafe.
Sunday in Brooklyn. Cassoni's Dumbo. Yes, we like that.
Okay.
River Cafe is classic, but it's interesting. Where's the one in Williamsburg?
Well, I'm still working on that. I'm just showing
Oh,
the
okay.
output. Remember, like a cooking show where they're cooking it in the oven, but then they show you the completed dish. That's what I'm doing right
Yes.
here. But what's cool is,
Gotcha.
look, it actually created a reserve on Open Table, and it could actually open up the link. So now Terry could take this as his branded item and send it out to people that he likes, or put it on his Facebook, or do whatever it is, and no one would be the wiser. They would just say, "Wow, this is greatness that's associated with Terry, who's a great guy." Or I did one for Dina, and again, she may or may not have liked it, but I did Delray Beach trending hotspots, and I did Dina Ulrich's big picks this week in Delray. And so Atlantic Avenue, and we put these different things. It's not whether you love what I actually put down right now. It's that you understand the technology that's allowing you to get such phenomenal content out to people. That's really the important part. That I want Dina's name as my team member to be associated with fun. I want it to be. I want people to anticipate and want your emails. That's what this is really all about. At least this is a big thing. So I'm just throwing this out to you because now all of this is being created. Let's go back to our Claude for a second. Up, and this is what it created. Here, I'm going to publish it now. And link copied. Let's go over here. And Terry Robinson's Best Bets in Brooklyn. So it came up with a bunch of different places where you can make reservations. And then it had some honorable mentions here. And if you guys want
Yeah.
to see it, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put it in the chat for everyone. And you could actually take a look at that. And Terry, please feel free to tear it apart. If you like it, send it out. If you don't like it, fuck it, don't use it, whatever it is. The point is that never before have you even been able to create content so quickly. And guess what? No other agent is doing it. So you're lucky you're here today, okay? No other agent is doing this. You're the only ones in America, me and you. That's it. So you really are in a phenomenal position to capitalize on this. Was that good, bad? Did anyone any thoughts on
By
it?
the way, it looks terrific.
Yeah.
Good.
And how long do they host it for? Forever?
Good question. Since this is again, I bring this stuff to you as fast as I learn it. So keep in mind, like what's interesting, I saw um, I got a bit of a laugh out of it. I won't say university because I don't want to publicly shame them, but they said we'll give you a 4-year degree in in all these technologies. Bullshit. This hasn't been around for 4 years. This is a moving target. A 4 year degree in 4 years. What we're talking about right now, in 6 months, you're going to say, I learned about it from Ed. But here's the good news. We keep learning more and more stuff. We're going to keep bringing you all the new stuff as it comes out. Dina's pleased. I can see she's smiling. And so is Andy. So that's good. Both of them. If Dina and Andy are happy, then I did a good job today. Let's get on to some other fun stuff. Questions so far? I'm talking too much. Anyone? Anyone? Ferris Bueller? Ferris Bueller?
All right. Can you give us an example into real estate?
I was just about to do that. Thank you so much. So let's give
I'm
you
so
that
sorry, I
example
just
into
couldn't hear
real
what
estate.
Andy said. Could you just repeat his question?
He said, "Can I give us an example in real estate?" And I agree with him that we now need some examples in real estate, which we're gonna, let me just clear off my screen a little bit so I know what to focus on. And we got that guy there. Okay, so giving an example of real estate. Why don't we do something since Andy asked, and I reward you if you're brave enough to ask questions. We could go into Perplexity and we could ask the question, please tell me what are the market updates? Sorry, let me say that again. The real estate market updates in Orlando, Florida. Can you highlight stats from May of 2025 so that I can have a greater understanding of the market? For context, I am a local realtor in Orlando. And why is that important? If you were a consumer, it might give you a very different perspective. If you were looking just to buy, if you were just, I may want to buy a townhouse in Orlando, it may be a very different output than by giving context. Remember this, guys. Context is everything. So if you put in the right context, you're going to get a very different outcome. So here we go. And by the way, I didn't rehearse this, so we might not be happy with the outcome, but let's take a look. So here's gone into all these different researches. What I love about this is it's lightning fast. Market in May of 2025, inventory surged. Okay, now I don't know if my Orlando people will agree with this. Inventory reached 10,282 homes, up 9.7%. Is that accurate?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, yeah, what I'm seeing anyway.
New listings, there were 4,521 new homes listed in May, an increase. So we got all this great data. That's great. And it gives you a little table where you have all this fun information and key takeaways for realtors. Great. So I'm going to now copy this. And again, if I were doing this, if I were Andy doing this, or if I was Marlene or Andy doing this, I would take a lot of time to read it. Again, there's no excuse not to do the work, guys. But once again, I'm going to put this in here. Please take the following information and make it into an interactive chart for buyers and sellers interested in Orlando, interested in this content. And I'm going to put this in here now, and I'm going to hit it again. And once again, it's going to go back out, and it will create this. Again, I nerd out, so I'd love to see the actual code. My friend Chris Ulrich and I love to take a look at code. So it's going to write all that out, and in a minute, when it actually gets done, I will present to Andy the thing. And Andy, by the way, I could then rebrand it for Andy Neal, or I could rebrand it for Marlene, or I could we could do this in Tampa for Alicia. We could do this in Brooklyn. We could do this we could do this absolutely anywhere. You're only limited by your creativity with this. It does take a couple minutes for it to cycle through. So let's just get on to some other questions here, and I'm going to give example after example. But guys, please, if you haven't done it, Daniel, please make sure you put it a couple times in here. The workbook. The workbook, by the way, we are opening up an online store. We're selling these things for between $30 and $70 each. You're getting it here for being here. So please put some value to it because this is something that we work very hard on. And we want
Hi, Edmund.
to do this.
It's Kirsten. Can I ask a question?
Kirsten, hi. Sure.
Hi. So I never liked the graphics and the design that they come up with. How do I change that?
It's a good question. You don't like the graphics of
Perplexity or Claude, they're always very like it's hard to get my aesthetic, and so that's where I feel like I'm hitting roadblocks.
Come back on Friday and let me research that a little bit more.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. Like I said, I don't have all the answers. I never lie, guys.
I know, but you have so many and I love it.
Okay, but I'm glad that you're here for it. Let's take a look at what we have here with the Orlando market. And let's just take a look. I'm going to share this with all of you in a minute. And
Hey, Ed, while you're keyboarding there, can I chime in?
Please.
So my short answer to the question that was just asked is ask Perplexity, ask Claude, how can I change the graphics? How can I make it more my style?
That's what I was going to do between now and Friday. But
I've done that and I've given an instruction, make it more modern looking or make it more clean. I've tried. I just can't ever get to exactly what I want, which I know.
Yeah.
Being perfect is difficult, but that's where I kind of stumble sometimes. It's just I want to get this certain look.
Imported it into Canva?
I've tried to do that as well, and
Okay.
yeah, I did one post in Canva, and the options I kept saying change it, and the options it kept giving me were just a little too basic for what I wanted to post, I guess is.
Okay.
right,
I think Dina has an answer to your question. Go ahead, Dina.
No, it's not an answer, but maybe a suggestion. I know that sometimes if you give it examples of what you do like, you say, please look at the style of this, look at the graphics on that. This is the look that I'm looking for. This is the feel that I'm trying to get. Sometimes maybe it can learn from that. That would be my suggestion, to show it examples
that's a good idea.
of what you do like. That would be like something I would try and do. I haven't done it, but it was funny. I was actually going to ask Edmund as well, because Edmund had done something similar. What he did for Terry, he did something similar for me. And I like Terry's graphics better than mine. They're similar, but Terry's is a little more colorful, a little more eye-catching. And I'm like, oh, well, how do you change that? Because it seems to come up with its own thing. So it is,
Right.
It is interesting to how it can learn your style.
But I guess that's the right way. Just enter stuff in that you like and train it. You're right.
If all else fails, come back on Friday. Ed will have an answer.
Well, and if all else fails, come back for the video if you can't make it to the meeting, because we're going to be posting these things as we always do. So, I mean, I really want the biggest takeaway here is I say this in every meeting. I was the kid that took his mom's toaster apart. Make sure it's unplugged. But take the toaster apart. Mom was pissed. I wasn't able to put it back together again. And she had to go, and it was, $8 for a new toaster. Again, this was the 70s. So I was the kid that took the toaster apart. I want all of us to be the kid to take the toaster apart here. Because when these universities start saying they've got 4-year degrees in this stuff, without being too arrogant, I'm qualified to be a professor if that's the case. If they're really doing it, I study this nonstop. I could probably be the best professor at all of this. And the reality is that's just scratching the surface from where we really are. I know this the way you might know going on traveling. I don't always know all the technical side of it, but just as you don't need to be a mechanic to drive a car, you have the ability to use this technology now, the way you're seeing it with these prompts, to be able to escalate your business in a way that you never thought possible. Okay, we're going to get on to some other stuff as well. But again, let's open it up for some more questions if we have some.
Ed, I wanted to ask you, why do we have to use 2 different AIs for whatever you're doing? What you can't use Claude from the beginning, ask the questions and then.
Sure. It's, you know what? You could, I just find Perplexity gets the research done a little bit better. But Hedeka, to your point, it's a moving target. Tomorrow, that might not be the case. The good news, this will still work. So I don't want all of you to get free. Somebody said, well, if it's changing so fast, why bother? Well, the answer is then you'll just be left out altogether. If you really want to get the most out of all of this, you've got to be able to start to utilize it. So I find that Perplexity gets the research done faster, better. I think it goes to more resources. I think it gives a different voice and a different tone. I could even say to Claude, do you agree with this? Or can you add to it? And then go ahead and make the interactive chart. And it might make it even better. But you could do this with anything. I mean, you could keep iterating through all this different stuff. You got a trip to Europe? Anyone who's going on a vacation pretty soon? Who's going somewhere? Okay, Andy, talk to me.
Well, just before I do that, what's good about what you just showed us is I write blogs pretty much every day. I try and find pictures to put in my blog just to fill it up. But this is great because I can now take that blog, put it into Claude and say, provide me a graphic or a chart to back up what I'm talking about. So thanks. It's really good. It's really good content.
Good. Well, I'm always happy that Andy, you're a great participant. You'd always jump in. Lavette, I just saw your hand up. I want to recognize Lavette was like the nicest. She's always been the nicest. Get to know Lavette, call her. She's just a bundle of joy, fabulous person to talk to. And she recognized my birthday by sending me this very nice fruit basket, fruit and fudge. It was just a great, great thing. And Lavette, that means a great deal to me. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
That's very, very sweet. It was very, very sweet of you to do. We had a hard time picking it up, but when we finally got it,
I see.
it was great. So talk to us, Lavette. What was your question?
No, I was just going to say I'm going to Brazil in a few weeks. So yeah.
Okay, you're going to Brazil. Okay, so let's talk through Lavette's trip to Brazil for a second. Again, just for example, you could start to borrow these ideas for your other stuff. Perplexity has a whole travel section here. And, not that it necessarily matters to click on the travel section because the data is coming from the same place, but it does have internal prompts that gets you closer to the choices. My friend Lavette is going to Brazil in June or July?
June.
In a few weeks. Can you plan how many days are you going for?
About 5 days.
Plan out her 5-day trip without airfare. Actually, no, 5-day trip.
No. Do it without airfare because I do fly. I'm a companion.
Okay,
so I fly for free.
Okay, so please. And how much of a budget should we put down for this? We going cheap, going expensive? It doesn't matter. What do you think?
No, budget friendly.
Okay, please make
but not too budget.
Like a budget friendly, but safe and fun vacation. Include everything but air travel. Okay, so now this thing's actually going to go out. And do I have any Brazilians here today? I wish Fabio was here, because it's going through and doing all the research for you.
Nice.
5-day budget friendly, where to stay, and it's giving the accommodations, and it's citing the resources, Lavette, if you see that here when I put my mouse over that. So you could get accommodation, food, transportation, attraction. Okay, daily budget. Now, again, I haven't been to Brazil. I understand that it's cheap. This seems really cheap to me. But let's take a look. Day one, you arrive. Copacabana, where are my international speakers?
Ipanema.
Ipanema, thank you. I knew I could get somebody to say that. Arrive, check into accommodation, explore Copacabana and these beaches, free, vibrant, safe during the day. Evening, dinner at local per kilo Prato, Fieto. I say I can't go because I can't say any of it. Optional, sunset, so the transportation, use the metro, and it's actually talking you through all these different things. And if you want to get into more details about the place, if there's something like, let's say you were a salsa dancer, let's say, I don't know what you're going to do there. Maybe you could then put more and more, um, uh, very specific information into it to make it work. If you wanted to take it, again, going back to the whole Claude thing, oops. If you wanted to make it into, please make this, yeah, I'll take it a step further to answer Hedeka's question here. Please look at this information and see what you can add or change. So we're going to make it even better. We are looking at a 5-day budget-friendly trip to Brazil. No airfare. I have that covered. Okay. So there. Now we threw that into Claude, and it's giving areas of improvements. Looking at this itinerary, it's a solid foundation with good safety and budget considerations. Here's my analysis. So it's taking it a little bit further. It's like, look at it this way. I'm going to stop this for a second. Look at it this way. It's asking a friend and then double checking with your other friend. If you look at it that way, now you've got actually a couple of different opinions and you're going to be able to take a look. I do that with translation. When I get stuff in Hebrew, I'll run it in Hebrew on Claude and I'll run it in Hebrew on ChatGPT and see if there's any differences. There's usually very little. I mean, usually it's more stylistic than anything else, but they usually do a very good job. But when it comes to something like this, it really depends upon a bunch of different factors. You could even say something like, Lavette, look into the news. Is there anything that's spectacular that's happened in the last, so like if you were going to the Vatican, maybe there's an opportunity to meet the Pope. I don't know. I keep seeing all these pictures online of people meeting the Pope. So if that was something that you desired. So it's giving this whole thing here. I'm not going to go through it too much, but now I'm going to say a step further. Please make an interactive chart, and I'll ask it to do it in a certain style. Call it Lavette's Big Adventure, and call it Lavette's Big Adventure in Brazil, and make it a more modern look. I'll just leave it at that. So now it's going to go out and it has the information, has the context. Again, we'll give that a couple minutes. Lavette, I'll give you a little chart and you'll be on your way to Brazil. But if again, nobody plans this way. You got to still put a little bit more time in. I want to just stress for the purpose of this meeting, I really just want you to get to understand the mechanics. And then if you take the time to make something cool, you could give it to me and I'll present it to everyone on Friday and we could all talk about that. And you could see for yourself just what is going on. There's nothing more important than knowing what the hell you're talking about. There's nothing more important than actually coming up with a plan and coming up with actual evidence. And one of the things that I'm going to show you now is if we took the biggest realtor, while this is still, yep, there, Lavette's thing is still busy working. We're going to go back here and I'm going to say, please take a critical look at Dave Roberts. He is my big, Dave Roberts. He is a big real estate agent in Boca Raton, Florida. Boca Raton, and my competitor. Please do an analysis. Please look up what he has sold and what tactics, what strategy he uses to get this work, to get his business. Okay, something along those lines. Again, the workbook is going to give you much better output. And it's going nuts and it's looking up Dave Roberts and his marketing strategy and it's finding some of it. Some of it will work, some of it won't work. Dave W. Roberts, 37 years, Royal Palm Yacht and Country Club. All of this is true. In the last 12 months, he sold 28 sales totaling over $303 million. Wow. Dina, we didn't do $303 million. Dina might do it this year. We'll see. Record-breaking deals. So he's got his okay. And now the market strategy, hyper-local specialization, relationship-driven approach, marketing presentation, custom marketing plans. Actually, it is very interesting. He made a map of his community, which is very well branded and very well read. So he's talking about all these strategic approaches that he's taken. And it's not as great as I thought it would be. But what I could do now is take this and let's see if we're back to Lavette's thing here. Actually, before I get onto this, I'm gonna just link copied. Lavette, here is your big adventure, and you got a little interactive map for it. Once again, I wouldn't necessarily do it just for yourself because you're just traveling, with your friends or yourself or whoever it might be. But it will then give you the agenda for each day. And I'm not too nuts about the modern look. You're right, Kirsten. It gets a little tiring. So we will research and figure out what to do to come up with a better hack. But in the meantime, let's go back to Claude and do what I was doing originally, which is going to take this and we're going to have Claude. I already typed into it. Please take a critical look and let's see what Claude comes up with on this guy. What I love about Claude is it's actually taking time to think about it. You say ruminating on it, stand by. And it will hopefully. Okay, so here I disagree with this. 636 million in sales. When was this? Okay, I don't know exactly where they got that data from, but we'll have to double check that. Again, if I was using this for business, we would be going nuts on trying to find it all. They do make mistakes. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being excellent opportunity, 10 being poor, they'd put him as 2. I'd actually put him as 1, but okay. He's got his whole team approach. He's got the different stuff that's going on in here. All that's great stuff. But why don't we do this? Based on what you know about me, how should I build my business to compete with him? Let me just see here. I'm going to talk about this in 1 second. Sam, could you shut my door? You have several different key differentiators that Roberts lacks. Coaching, mastermind, business. So it knows all about my stuff. And from here, you could actually iterate through where you should try and go. One of the things that this came up with was, why don't I create one of these masterminds for people wanting to sell their homes? And then it was going through all the approaches of how I could build a mastermind and get people to actually come. I feel I shine in this environment. So it's talked about that in a previous post. Again, I don't think it's necessarily come up here, but I'm just giving you all food for thought. I know that there's a lot of words on the screen and I'm machine gunning through all of this, but I want to give you guys food for thought on how to use um, the AI. No longer think of it as you do with Google, where you're just going to find some information. This is going to really be your partner in figuring out the best approach to your business. Okay, 9:37 questions here. Did I wear everyone out? I know I went through an awful lot. You know, let me just take a
It's
look.
just a lot of great information. I think we're just kind of taking it
Yeah,
all.
yeah, it is a lot. I mean, you could take a look at any neighborhood. I mean, I think you get the point. You could do this with any neighborhood, with any block, with any particular event. I love to talk about restaurants. Everyone goes out and eats. Everyone wants to go out and discover different places. There's some great opportunity for you if you try and play that up. There's great stuff to find out about your competition and what they're up to. There's great if you want to find true statistics about cold calling and where you're at and how it's doing. If you want to make scripts, if you want to do certain things with the scripts, that's really important. Um, and then finally, let me just show you this. For those that have seen it before, just bear with me. On Claude, and this is really unique to Claude, which is what I really love about it, we've got projects. And in the projects, I've got Mastermind, Mastermind transcript. Every single meeting that I've had with you guys in the last year gets summarized and then put into this knowledge base. Isn't that cool? Every single meeting that I have there. So if I now come to this with this great wealth of knowledge, I could literally write a book. In fact, we're trying to with this information. I could say, based on what you know about based on what you know in your knowledge base, what um, what please give a business plan and marketing to a 25-year-old person starting in real estate. They can spend 500 a month or 6 months on their marketing, and they don't like cold calling. They want to farm an area. What please make a comprehensive plan for them to succeed in sales. They want listings, not buyers. Okay, so let's see what this guy comes up with. Now, again, this is taking all this great information that it's had from my meetings in the past, and let's take a look at this. Comprehensive business plan for a new real estate agent. Listings focus. The plan is designed for a 25-year-old new agent with a $500 marketing budget for 6 months who wants to focus on listings rather than buyers. Hyperlocal focus, target 200 to 300 homes in a specific neighborhood rather than a wide net. Value first approach, position yourself as a community resource, not just a salesperson. Consistently daily activities, implement daily six using the 25-minute Pomodoro technique, Pomodoro sessions. For those of you who've been to the meeting, you know I love the Pomodoro technique. AI enhanced efficiency, leverage technology, blah, 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 blah. So phase one, this is month one. Farm area selection. Choose a neighborhood of 200 to 300 homes within 5 miles of your location. Criteria. Homes built 15 years ago. Median price 300K. Decent turnover rate. So it gives you kind of a step-by-step thought process for somebody that's new. Here's your technology stack. You need ChatGPT and you need Claude. Of course, it's going to put itself in there, but actually, it's really pretty good about that. It doesn't always say this. Here's your email platform. Here's your CRM that you're going to need. Maybe you need a Canva tool. And then it's going to talk about the different things that you need to do, setting up your Google alerts to farm your area, research recent sales, identify your three competitors. I mean, it gives that basic approach to somebody who's never, here this guy needs headshots, they need their printed material, they need their technology, if they have ongoing subscriptions. So it really gives a pretty good input into what you need. But here's the thing, it's all driven by the fact that we've got this database right here and it knows what I've spoken about before. In other words, if I didn't have the database there, it would have come up with other things. It certainly would have given good advice. But because this group, this mastermind is encapsulated in that knowledge base, we get that much more information. Pretty cool, right? Pretty cool. So you could go about using all these tools. You could either leverage it or you could say, fuck it. I mean, again, I hope you don't say fuck it. I really do. I think that we've got a very, very big either opportunity or problem on our hands. The opportunity is very obvious. If you take advantage of this, you could do what I'm showing you right now. Finish the
Yeah,
meeting.
I've just, right, you say right now, I've just taken what you showed us and put it into my blog, and it looks great. Really
Can you
good.
share the blog with everyone so you get some credit with
Yeah, real quick, I'll show you what I just did. I can't,
okay.
I can't share it.
Here, take the screen. Take the screen.
Okay. All right. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
So before it was just a community here in Windermere with text, and I just created what you just shared. We shared us. It now has how many homes, what the community has, and then I've divided it up and put a section down here that there's how many lakefront houses on each part of the lake. So I've now got a bit of graphic that breaks up boring text.
Yep. Okay. And again, I'm glad that you found success in it and just doing it in 2 seconds. But I'm telling all of you, don't do that. Take your time. Yeah, Andy also happens to be a very technical, capable guy. So if you're not that person, there's no shame in that. Take your time and play around with it. Be the kid that takes the toaster apart. I'm not your mom. I won't be mad that the toaster doesn't work. But do unplug it because I am 3% Jewish grandmother and I worry about everybody. You know that. Okay, there's so much more that I could go through. There really is. And I really do want to. The only thing I could say again, Daniel put the workbook back here for all of you to take a look at it. It's telling you all sorts of prompts, stuff about neighborhood expertise, complete analysis of Bensonhurst, Brooklyn, I don't know, of Tulsa, Oklahoma, it doesn't matter. Demographics, price trends, amenities, development projects, and an investment outlook. So you could go out and you could do all the research, play around with it, presentation creation, transform this market research into professional presentation. There's one other thing that I think I could go through. I keep saying one other thing, but I keep remembering certain things that I want to bring up. There's now kind of a beast mode on Perplexity. It's here, it's labs. So turn your ideas into completed documents, slides, dashboards, and more. So just to show you, I hope Kirsten's still here. And Lavette, I'll get you in just 1 second. Here they give you some examples of what you could actually do. Prepare a comprehensive report on the impact of parental leave policies on women's career trajectories in the US. You know what? Let's just take what they're recommending. I'm going to throw that out. You get 50 labs a month from your $20 a month subscription to Perplexity. So it's going out and it says 9 minutes to gather this information. So it's actually taking time. It won't take 9 minutes. It'll take more like 5 minutes. But we'll take a look at what it looks like in a second, but not before I get to Lavette. Lavette, what's going on?
So no, I was just going to ask you really quickly because I saw
Sure.
that Pro was behind Perplexity, so I assume that you're paying for it. And
Yep.
if so, how much is it monthly?
Yep. So that's the answer. $20 a month. and the Claude subscription, or sorry, yeah, the Claude subscription is $20 a month as well. Again, I spend your money very carefully, guys. I wouldn't tell you to do it if I didn't think it was really worth it. I really do. I just think that dollar for dollar, especially if you've been the person that's advertised on Zillow in the past, it says to me that you've spent no less than $300 or $400. Isn't that the truth? A month. Isn't that
Yes.
just nod wildly? Okay, yes, Ed, you're right. Okay, this is better than that. It just is. It just the stuff that you could do with this is really quite remarkable. Let's take a look at how. Yep, 4 minutes left.
If you're a new agent and haven't built up your business yet and you could only pick one, which one would you suggest?
I would probably pick Claude.
Okay.
I would if really you had just a very limited budget, but it doesn't mean that you still can't use Perplexity. I mean, you're just not getting as robust a use. All of these have free versions on it. So if budget is really truly a problem, you're right. I spend a fortune on all of these different AIs. I work them. It's worth it to me. And when I say a fortune, I mean several $100s a month. Um, but I understand that not everybody has that budget. Not everybody has the desire to spend that much. Let me just take a look here. It's still working on this thing, another 3 minutes. So hopefully we'll be able to get that together as well. While it's doing that, get out of our Brazilian trip here. One other thing that I've been doing with Dina and a couple people on the team is I've been saying things like you could go into Claude, again, a subscription version, and you could say, please look up 17651 Foxborough Lane. It may be going to foreclosure. And actually, I'm going to do this under my project here. The project is Email Central. I created a project which I call Email Central so that it understands the context of who I am. I'll show you that in a minute. But it's going to look up 17651 Foxborough Lane. It may be going to foreclosure. And I want you to research it. If you can find the owner and write a heartfelt pitch letter, email, so that I can get a meeting with the owner and get the listing. So I do that. And now Claude is doing something very similar. It's going out. The big difference from between now and a month ago, before you would just ask for answers. This is actually going out. It's trying to find the information. And it's looking as best it can. It's checking the Palm Beach County clerk's foreclosure records. That's exactly what I would do. It's trying another approach. By the way, I didn't do this before with this, so it might not have the answer. That's what people seem to kind of go nuts on me. They don't get the fact that it's an imperfect thing. So it came up with Zoila, who I know she was the previous owner. But let's just see what it's come up with here. And again, I hope this email finds you well. My name is Edmund Bogen, and I'm a luxury real estate specialist who's dedicated my career to helping homeowners in St. Andrews Country Club navigate challenging real estate situations with dignity and care. I'm reaching out because I understand that owning property in our beautiful community can sometimes present unexpected challenges, whether it's market changes, family circumstances, or financial pressures. I've helped out many neighbors find solutions that protect both their interests and their peace of mind. Your property at 17651 Foxborough Lane sits on one of the most prestigious neighborhoods in all of South Florida. Having worked extensively in St. Andrews, I know that every home here has value, blah, blah, blah. So it's got personalized. What do you think? More so than a drip, right? And that's what the next step that we're working on is creating an automated system for you to be able to subscribe to be able to send emails out in that manner, where it goes out, gets the information, and does this in an almost autonomous way. Not there yet. Not there yet. It pisses a lot of you off because I know that you want it to be like now, working now, but we know what we're about to get here. We know that we're going to have something that's completely autonomous and that's going to really, if you catch up and if you play the game right, you could leave behind much of the admin work and much of the research to be able to just get to the meat, just get to the real exciting part of the program. Let's just take a look here. And this guy's still researching here. This guy's still researching what it was doing a comprehensive report on the impact of parental leave policies on women's. So it's going out and it's really going nuts on the research. Again, you get 50 of these a month, so use it carefully. Honestly, this has nothing to do. Oh, here we go. The impact on parental leave policies on women's career trajectories in the United States. So it gives a bit of a framework and it's still propagating. Okay, and now this gives some nice charts as well. Is Kirsten here? Did Kirsten leave? Because she was looking for better charts. So it's giving, parental leave by industry. So it's giving the industry look of where they're leaving, financial services challenges, healthcare industry paradox, career impact. It gives other charts and other durations of all this. And I mean, it really went nuts with this. I mean, this is a pretty remarkable report. So the more context that you give it, the greater that it's going to be. Let me see if I could share this with you guys. See, I don't think I could share this the same way other than cutting and pasting it. But it's still making it. I mean, thing's still going on. In any case, you could find something that's meaningful to you. You could find something about the impact on the environment in construction, or you could find what's going on with AI in my business. Is it going to put me out of business? Let's get away from all the nonsense that's out there. We've got something that's coming up. I worry for my kids. I worry for your kids that are graduating school where entry level is just kind of going to be irrelevant just in time for my daughter's college graduation in a few years. It's just going to be but here's the thing. Strategy and structure is going to be what she needs. She's got me and I'm going to help teach her. I'm going to help get her from point A to point B. But a lot of you have to get into this mindset to be able to make it work. Okay. We're running farther. I hope you enjoyed today's meeting, and I hope you're able to come on Friday as well. I hope if you know anybody that would like to subscribe to my mastermind, I would love to meet them. We're really coming into a much more software as a service foundation of what we're really trying to do for each of these people. And so if you have questions about that, please do let me know. But very briefly, wants, needs, and brags. Now's the time in the meeting to talk about what you want, what you need, and what you'd like to brag about. I'm bragging about Lavette's great gift to us. I thought that was very, very sweet to me. And thank you. And I leave it to you guys. Who's got something to brag about? It could be anything. Looking around here. Nobody has anything to say. Why don't you just say, I am somebody and I work in this neighborhood and I'd love for you to hire me?
I have a great listing in Boca Point.
Okay. So tell us about it.
It's a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom, very large floor plan, 3,500 plus square feet under air with a pool in Encantada, which is the gated section of Boca Point off of 18th Street with the larger home lots. And we are listed at 145 right now, but we are going to do a price drop in the next couple of weeks. And the sellers are looking to sell it. The house is in great condition, but it needs a new roof and it needs impact windows and doors. So we're taking that into consideration and adjusting accordingly. So if anyone has buyers for Boca, it's a really great house.
Okay. Good, good. You see, that wasn't so bad. Who else has got another one for us? Nobody. Okay, okay, Alicia is like, oh, okay, yeah, Alicia, go
Hey,
ahead. Tell everyone who
this
you
is it.
are, Alicia.
Alicia Warburton, and I cover the St. Pete, Tampa, Clearwater area.
Great.
And mine is not completely real estate related, but we are moving back into our house after 8 months. We flooded in Hurricane
Ah,
Helene, so I'm very excited. So that's a win.
that's a huge win. Good for
Yes.
you. Good for you. And her whole neighborhood
Congratulations.
was wiped
Thank you.
out. And Alicia, get to know Alicia. She's lovely, fantastic. And I'm so happy for you because I know this was a long time coming. It's very difficult living the
Yes.
way you were for the last 8 months, like
Yeah.
really trying to. I know what it's like to be. Uh,
Displaced a little bit.
well,
So
I've not been displaced that way, but I know what it's like. I think it's terrible. So I'm
yes.
happy that you're getting back in. Who else?
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone? Anyone? Okay, Terry, you still with us? Terry's hiding from me. Terry is being held down under heavy furniture. Okay. Well, if we don't have Terry, I'm going to just have to say it was really great having all of you here. I hope that you can make it on Friday. Um, sorry, I'm on a call. You know what, Terry? You need to get your priorities straight. I'm glad that all of you were able to make it. I hope you could come on Friday. Keep in mind, we will not have a Rain Nation mastermind next week. I will be traveling. I'll be in the Middle East, and we're not going to have it. It's my first time not having a meet. I don't know if any of you could even recall when I missed a meeting, but of course I will make up for it in spades. We will always do many more stuff. So we will have the Friday. This Friday is going to be the last meeting for 12 days. So I hope that all of you don't miss me too much and follow me on social media and you'll see some great pictures. And
Where are you going?
I'm going to Israel.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
Very cool.
I miss you already.
The
And what do you mean we're not having a
meeting, when
meeting?
Greg says that.
Zoom, hey, Zoom works from the Middle East.
You know what? You're the third person to tell me that. I don't know. If I could put something quickly together, I just can't count on it.
You
So,
know, just get on and tell us what a great time you're having in the Middle East.
okay, yeah, that would be great. No, I want to be
When are you
absolutely.
going? When are you going?
I'm going to Jerusalem and I'm going to Tel
Oh,
Aviv.
when? When?
I'm going on Thursday, a week from tomorrow.
Oh, you are. Oh, okay. Just watch the flights because they cancel some of them. Just. I hope you just traveling with Elal.
I'm flying it out, yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay. Pray
So
for us too.
yeah. No, well, hold on a second. Let me just make sure I'm saying this right here. You know what? Correction. Oh my God. You guys just, you know what? Guys, forgive me. I, I'm actually turning red with embarrassment. We will have the meeting next Wednesday. It's going to be the following Wednesday. Daniel's been sitting on the sidelines, like saying, "Yeah, this is what it is." I'm very sorry about that. We will be having the meeting this Friday and Wednesday. It's going to be the following Wednesday that we will not have it. I'm literally booked my plane flight to New York just after this meeting next Wednesday. So please come to all of that. Sorry about this. Don't pay attention to me. Pay attention to Daniel. He's the one that knows what's actually going on. Always June 6th and 11th, Outsourcing Advantage Mastermind. Okay, so we're going to be talking about that extensively and what we're going to be able to do to build that up. That's going to be next week. We'll get a full itinerary out to all of you. Again, I apologize for my craziness here. Thank you all for coming, and I look forward to seeing you at the next exciting episode of Rain Nation. Thanks so much.